Finally, I am making this video. How did my vendor market event go? All right, so I'm gonna start with a big takeaway that I want you to keep in mind because I definitely didn't realize how much it would affect me and how much I needed it. So the biggest takeaway I have found is that to get rest after the event. The event was Sunday, June 8th, and today is Monday, June 16th. So I have taken 8 days to just record this video. And it's because after the Sunday market on Sunday, Monday I thought I would get rest, but I had to look for Father's Day cards because Father's Day was just this past weekend. And then also my body was still excited from the event that I wasn't ready to rest. I tried to rest, but my body could not rest. And so Tuesday was celebrating graduation. Wednesday and Friday, I had to get to work super earlier than normal, and that threw off my schedule. And then Thursday, I was meeting up with friends, and that was super early as well. And so that threw off my schedule as well. And plus, I worked in the morning. And so I had back to back things to do, and I did not get the rest I needed after the event. And so instead of just one day of rest, I think 2 days of rest for an introvert. I am an introverted person. So I needed 2 days of rest because the day after the event, I was still just going over everything that happened. And then the next day, I think would have been my rest day if I had it, but I did not have time to have that be my rest day. So that's the biggest takeaway I'm just starting off with from the jump. But let's get into how did everything go? Did I make any sales? Did I make how much I paid for the tabling back? Did it rain? So let's get into some how did the vendor market go? So drum roll please. The first question, did it rain during the vendor market? Yes. Yes it did. And so it was on and off though, luckily. So like setting up the table and the tent and everything. The event started at 11, and I would say it didn't start drizzling till 12:30ish. And then it was just on and off for the rest of the evening. But it did stop again, I would say, around like 4. So yeah, it was on and off, but did that stop people? No, people still came out, and that's wonderful. Because the location it was at has a lot of foot traffic, and that is wonderful. There's a lot of shops and things to do in the area. Second question, how many sales did I make? Or should I do? Actually, first I'm gonna do drum roll please for did I make my money back for the table? So drum roll please. Do you think yes? Do you think no? I did. I did make my money back for the table. So yeah, that was exciting and just amazing. Because I was stressed. If you saw my last video, I was stressed leading up to this event. So I didn't know what to expect because of knowing that it was going to rain and because of not only buying the tent but buying other stuff I needed for the event. Not only buying the table, sorry, but buying a tent and then buying other stuff I needed for this event. I was stressed about making my money back as well as the weather and people not coming out. And then the question, how many sales did I make? Did I make 5 sales, 15 sales, or 23 sales? The answer is 15 sales. I sold 15 things at my table, and I was selling my books. So I was selling my novel, Home Sweet Home, and then my poetry book, Stay at Home Calls for Poetry. And I was selling them as a book bundle as well. And I was selling bookmarks. But I'll get to that later. So this video will be broken into 3 parts. The first part will be my highlights. The second part will what would I do differently next time from the vendor market. And the third would be what I learned and the takeaways. So without further ado, I'm just going to go right into it. My notebook's down here, so I'll be looking at that at some points. So first, highlights from the event. I'm going to show you a clip of me because I recorded like my feelings and reactions that night, and I'm so grateful I did because this is a week later and I feel like I'm not as excited as I was in that moment. So I'm going to show you that clip first and then I'll get into these. Just real time responding. This is after the event. It went so well. Yeah, I will definitely share more when I'm ready to film. This is just like aftermath feel. And it's just like, wow, even through the rain, it was on and off all day, but like for the first like 2 hours, it was fine. It was just fun. It was enjoyable. It was cool making connections, just talking to people, get to know people. But the people that came up to my table, like just off of memory now, I just want to say it. Like there was this little, or not. It was he was 13, and I would say my books are like for 14 and up. But he was so excited to read my novel, and so he brought his dad over, and his dad was like, "I'll read it with him," and it was just so nice. Just talking to them and having them read the back of my book and be interested in me sharing about it, and him be so the boy be so excited to read it. There was cute moments just giving out my word search. There wasn't really any race, like a word search race. But my table partner buddy that was right next to me, her friends came to help her, and they were down to like do my word search, and so they did it together, and that was cool to see. Um, but yeah, it was enjoyable. There was cute moments. I was very nervous, but also my friend helped me understand like how I should word it. Like I'm the author of these books, because sometimes people think like you're selling someone else's book, which is like a publishing company. But no, I'm the author of these books, and so like I said that like, hi, these are my books. I'm the author, and then I would share this is a poetry book, this is a novel, and it was just cool having people be interested in both of them, be interested in one of them. Like that was very cool to just experience. Yeah. I'm just sharing things that just come to mind right now. Like one lady across from me that was vending. At the end, I went over to like get one of her cards because I didn't have time to like look at her stuff, but it seemed like very poppy colors and very cool. And she said that I looked so confident, and I was just like, wow, because I felt very nervous. But it's cool to see like I was just trying. Like I was just trying my best to get comfortable and approach, or not even approach, but say like, "Hi, good morning," like to just have people come to my table. And so it came off as confidence, and that's cool to hear because I don't always feel confident. So that kind of that little boost or that compliment, it goes a long way, even if she didn't realize it goes a long way. And so I appreciated that. Um, yeah, a lot of grateful moments. I'll have drum roll please, Desiree, share if I made my table money back, like return on investment or not. So stay tuned. Okay, so in addition to that, I want to just break down my highlights even more. So highlight number 1, seeing the 13-year-old and his dad, which I did mention in that video, or in that clip that you just saw. It was so cool seeing how excited he was to read my book. And just his dad being so supportive and wanting to read with him, and just both of them just being so supportive, and wanting to keep reading like for kids and for just not only this up and coming generation, but just in general, like keep reading alive and encouraging people to read. I loved it, and I'm so grateful for their support. And in addition to that, there was also a 12-year-old boy who he came to my table once and wanted to know what my novel was about. And so I told him, and he was like, "That's cool. That sounds interesting." And then he walked off with his family. But then he came back because he had a follow-up question, and he was wondering, was this book based on like personal experiences and I just changed the character to, or was it just made up? And so I explained to him how I just made up this story. It's not based on any personal experiences, but I told him I love that question. And so it was cool how he was just intrigued about not only my writing process, but just the story in general. And then I asked him, did he write? And he said when it's forced in school is not as exciting for him, but sometimes on the side or at the bottom of his notebook, he sometimes thinks of ideas and writes it down. And I encouraged him to keep doing that because it seems like he has like a creative mind going. And so that was fun to just have that interaction. Another highlight was that my first two customers were also writers, and so they hadn't heard of like KDP in the process, but they hadn't started anything yet, and so they were just curious. And they both brought my novel, and so that was just cool. That they were my first two customers, and they're also writers. And yeah, I encouraged them to follow me so that I could see their process, or if they had any questions, they could message me, or I could suggest some author tubers that I watched when I was starting publishing with my poetry book. So yeah, that was exciting. It felt good. And so the next thing that was a highlight was that the vendor, they had like a group chat, I guess you could call it, where we could all like make suggestions for each other to prepare for the event. And someone in the group chat said how they have like a money bag that they strap on to themselves. Either it was that or I saw this in a YouTube video of other people talking about their vendor market. I can't remember which one. But they wear like the money bag around them so it's never left on the table, and it goes with them like when they go to the bathroom or not. And that was super helpful when someone gave me like, because so my novel was $16, my poetry book was $11, and so if someone gave me a 20, I just had the bag right here to give $4 or to give $9. It was super helpful. So that little tip, I appreciated it. So yeah, because I literally bought a bag the day before. So yeah, because my purse is just, it's weird, it's weirdly made, and so it wouldn't have worked out. And so just buying a bag, technically a fanny pack, or it could be just like a over the shoulder bag. Yeah, those worked. The next highlight is that my friend and my boyfriend were there to support me. I definitely needed it like the first 30 minutes to the first hour. I just needed to get a flow of what to say because I didn't have it. All I had was good morning, hi, this is my table. But I encourage it because my friend is amazing and she hypes up my poetry because she's familiar with my poetry book more than my novel because she hasn't read my novel, but she's heard some of my poems from my poetry book. And so she was hyping up how there's positive poems in my poetry book, as well as just how I'm honest, and exploring just that honesty through my poetry. And so she was my hype person, and people would give her compliments like, "Oh, you gotta keep her. She's doing so well of hyping you up," and she was so grateful that she was there. She could only stay from 11 to 1, but she helped with setup because setup we got there at like 9:30, and setup was between 8 to 10. So she was really like with me from like 9 to 1, and it was super helpful. I needed the support, I needed the encouragement. And then my boyfriend was helpful as well, as like showing that I had word searches and trying to hand them out to people or people with kids because that's an activity to do. Because at the bottom, the word search relates to my books. For my poetry book, it's how I felt while making the poetry book. And the other word search is some words that will come up in my novel. And they're repeated words. And so I just made it as a word search. And then he would be like trying to hand them out to families or to people. So that was nice. And then as well as just I did start to get low because I did not have a lot of money to buy a lot of inventory for my books, but I have forgot that I had extra at home, and so he went back to get them for me, and I appreciate that so much. And yeah, he was just there encouraging me to eat. And they both reminded me promote book bundle. I have this book bundle offer. Say it, talk about it, and say how I'm the author of these books. And so yeah, they were very helpful at reminding me or helping me figure out how to word things. The next highlight is talking to people by myself. So when my friend left, my boyfriend dropped her off to where her car was because she left it at our place. And so I was alone for a bit, and I wanted that experience because I wanted to see how I would do. And it was exciting. It was a thrill to just encourage people to come over, answer their questions, tell them like these are my books, tell them a little bit about it. So yeah, I'm glad I was able to do that again. Like when my boyfriend had to go back home to get the books and then come back, that was super nice, and I felt so bad because he could have did it the first time. But I was so grateful. Um, that he was supportive, as well as that I got the time to just see how I do by myself. And I think I did well, which is encouraging because I'm a nervous person. I don't always feel confident and I stumble. And so it's nice to know that I can still share like my story and share my book story and premise and stuff. The next highlight was there was a couple, and so the wife was saying how, like, asking, am I on, and do I have an ebook version because she reads ebooks more? And the husband was like, no, let's just get it now. And so they did end up buying my novel now. But then he went in to explain how he does engineer writing, and he was explaining how he edits as he goes, and he was wondering, is that the type of writer I am, or if I'm a plotter, or if I'm a pantser? And I was explaining to him how I don't outline, I don't have the plot of my story, I just have scenes, and then I have to connect them as I go. And so it was cool just hearing his writing process and getting to talk about that for a little bit. And so yeah, it was a nice just talking to them for a little bit and seeing their dynamic as husband and wife. And then lastly, another highlight is that I didn't need a card reader. I was stressed towards the end of my last video. I was saying like, should I get it? Should I not? Do I even have time to learn it? But QR codes worked, cash worked, and I did have a backup where I put a banner at the top of my website for people to click if they just wanted to type in their information that way and pay specifically for the event, so they wouldn't have to do shipping. And then I would have gave them the book right then and there and signed it for them. But I didn't have to do any of that. QR codes worked for PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo, and then cash worked out. So yeah, I was grateful for that. And now let's talk about what I would do differently. So I had no business cards. And for me, I feel weird about business cards because I feel like I won't say the right information on it. Like I know I'm supposed to give a snippet of like what style, what genre do I write in. But I feel like business cards aren't for me. And then technically my bookmarks were $1.50. But I found very quickly from the first person that came to my table, she did not purchase anything, but she did look over my bookmarks and took one. And she was like, "Oh, I'll keep you in mind," and took one. And then that did start a chain of me realizing like, oh, people are gonna connect with these bookmarks. I shouldn't have them as a fee. I should just give them away for free because two of my bookmarks has snippet poetry on it. So one on each bookmark, but two of those two poems are from my poetry book. And so that's cool that people get to see like a little bit of my style. One's very motivational, and I would call it like my bestseller bookmark. It's the one that people tend to gravitate to because it's very motivational. And so it's very cool for me to even see that I have like this bookmark that people like, and I love that. And so that's what I would do differently. I would just have my bookmarks as like my business cards, because on the back it has my email, my Instagram, my YouTube. And so it works out if it is just my business card, because I feel like bookmarks are helpful. You could use a magnet and put it on your fridge, or you can put it in a book, or you could keep it on your desk, or because I have a third bookmark, and it's just about my novel. Um, and so you could either like put it in your book, leave it on the table, or give it to someone because maybe they need that motivation, or they'll be curious about it. So I like that, and so that's what I would do differently. The next thing is that I would buy a banner or something, because I had nothing. You'll see from these pictures that I this is what I call it. I felt like I looked like a kid, like doing like a pop up lemonade stand, while everyone else was like a professional business. And that's not me. Yes, it's kind of me coming at myself, but I'm just literally saying I did not take any photos. I should say that I did not take any photos of other people at this event. I did poorly of recording anything. That's why I'm grateful I took those pictures in the beginning, because I knew I probably would not do any more than that. But people had the banners at the top of their tent, the banners hanging from their table, just even like their stand. Some people had two tables instead of the one, because we provide our own stuff. We brought our own tent, bring your own table, bring your own chairs, and all that. And so I had one table, one tent, no banners and stuff. And so I would buy one, and I'm realizing, because I do want to do children's books in the future, I want to be able to sell those. And so I don't want to just say like, and I'm going to go by like a different name for the children's books. So I'm figuring out my banner to like be like meet the author, and then you'll see all my books. The next thing I would do differently. Oh, but what I want to say is that I was small but mighty. People still came up to talk to me, and to encourage me to keep going. And I do think some people thought, because I look young, I think some people thought I was younger than I was. But I was still grateful for them like applauding me or encouraging me to keep going, or just coming to my table to take a bookmark. Like, that was nice. And so I called myself small but mighty, because I finally did get the flow of saying like, hi, I'm the author of these books, if in case you want to know what they're about. And then I would go into a spiel. And so yeah, I'm gonna pause real quick because my phone is about to run out of storage, so I have to make room again, and then I'll share more of what I would do differently. All right, I'm back. So to continue what I would do differently, I would have more inventory of my books. I only could afford to restock 15 of my novels, and then probably between 11 and 15 of my poetry books. So it was just enough for this event, which is amazing to know that I need about like 15 each, maybe comfortably 18 to 20 each. Um, but yeah, I just want more, to not feel like, oh, I'm running low. Oh, the table's looking empty. Because I think it does kind of invite people more when they see, like, oh, a table's full, versus if it's empty, it's kind of like, oh, what are you selling? But it did get empty towards, I would say, like the last hour, which is good. Last hour and a half, which is good. That means I did pretty well. Um, so yeah, and then I also had thank you cards I would put in the bag, because I brought brown paper bags. So I would put my card. They got to choose whichever bookmark they wanted, because it was included with the book. And then I had these little thank you cards saying like, thank you for supporting my business, and don't forget to leave a review, because reviews help others find books. And then I ran out of that. I probably only had 5 to 7, because our printer is running low on like the color, so the color ink. And so it was kind of just like, once they go, they're gone. But it's okay because like in my on my bookmark on the back, it has like my information. So people still have like the information to my website, the information to my Instagram, my YouTube. But I just like that little thank you card, and so I want to print more. The next thing I would do differently is make sure all my stuff have my updated website, because my first poetry word search, it had the wrong website because I was using a free website and not my own domain in the beginning. And so I used whiteout, and I did that on maybe 20 sheets of paper, but I believe we gave more than 20, and I didn't realize till late that, oh no, the restock that we put out of some of my word searches for my novel is fine because I printed that like a week, not a week, a few days before the event, and so that was updated. But my word search, because I had printed so many from my first event that I did, I didn't want to reprint. I just wanted to use whiteout, but I didn't take the time to white out on every single sheet of paper because we probably printed 40 to 50 sheets and I only did 20. And so when we restocked on my table, I didn't realize till very late that, oh no, we might have been giving out some that had the wrong information on there. My contact was correct. Like you can email me at mail@DesireeStories.com, but the website was not. And so sadly, I do think some people went home with not the updated website, but that's for me to do better and do differently next time. And so that's why I'm sharing it here. The next thing I would do differently is, so you in the picture you'll see like the shelves I had, and in the last video if you watched my video preparing for the event. But I would like, I think they're called magazine racks, where it's like, I don't know, like it goes down. And so a level of books here, a level of books here, a level of books here. I would like that. And then someone in the group chat was saying how she was giving them away for $40. But I didn't have $40 at the time. Like I wanted to. And I was thinking of just trying to squeeze it from somewhere. But I didn't. And it worked out. It was still fine. My shelves worked. I like how people could like slide and read the book. Or I could slide. It was also for me to slide and pick out the book to sign. The display ones I had worked out. A lot of things worked out. It's just I think I also want that type of rack because I think it would be helpful as well. But also it might also be helpful like on a second table. So I'll see if I'll venture to that level. Probably not, because I do plan to at least do 1 or 2 more tabling events this summer. And I don't know if I would get another table by that point, but you know, just trying different displays. And then the last thing I would do differently is, one second, take my time when writing a note. So my signature wasn't bad. I would say I did well with signing the book and doing my signature. But I only made 1 note because the father and son asked me to. And I feel like it's sloppy handwriting, sadly, because it was rushed. I was nervous. I was trying to listen because we were also holding a conversation still, but I wanted to leave something motivational. And I said, like, continue to spread your light and positivity. But I feel like it was in sloppy handwriting, sadly, and I don't want that. I want it to be exciting to open up and see the note, to see two. His name is Jaden, so to Jaden. And I don't want it to look sloppy. So that's what I would do differently, because I feel bad. I feel bad, but I was also nervous. And so I just need to slow down. I would slow down. And now, finally, what I learned and some takeaways. So the first one, and I did touch on this, is give bookmarks, like give out my bookmarks, but also give it to people that were just having conversations with me and say like they'll come back. Because there was this one guy, he was like in the early, like within the first hour, he was like, this book sounds right up my alley. we'll be back though. We can't buy now, but we'll be back. And then it was the rain happened, and so I feel like he and his wife, or he and the person he was with, because I don't know their relationship, but he and the person he was with, I feel like they just left because of the rain. And so I never saw him again. But apparently, it sounded like the book was up his alley, and I did not offer my bookmark. And so I was so sad because he could just buy it another day while he's at home avoiding the rain. But I did not give my bookmark. So that's like something I learned. Like, even to the people that are like, I'm not sure, offer the business card, offer the bookmark. So yeah, another thing I learned and took away was talking to people can be fun, because I was so nervous, but it was enjoyable. It was enjoyable just hearing people's questions, hearing people encourage me, hearing how they are readers, or if they like poetry versus novels. And so it was fun. It was exciting. And also, I did walk around. So my friend and I, we walked around right before the event started. So at like 10:30, 10:40, we walked around, and we talked to another vendor. They were called Novels and Escapes, and it was cool talking to them. I'm talking to my neighbor. My neighbor was Bomber Lip, and it was nice talking to her, and just hearing like how long her business has been running, but also how she's been progressing her business and who she's connected with. And so yeah, it was all very helpful, and it was fun and enjoyable, but I was super nervous. But I'm glad I was also able to have fun. So if you are an introvert, or if you're a person that gets nervous, I can't speak for all events because every event is different. But hopefully you find another vendor or another person that you can connect with, or even just customer that you can connect with, that it can make it more exciting for you, or just keep motivating you. Um, Another thing I would like to do is prepare better for questions, especially the question like, what made me write this story, specifically my novel. What made me write it? Because there's many different reasons I wrote this novel, but I kept leaning on like, oh, it's taken me. I started this in high school, and so it was a 10-year journey. But there's many other ways I could explain like why I wrote this novel, because it is a journey about forgiveness. It is a book about parent and child relationships. It is a book about unhealthy love dynamics within family. And so there's many different reasons I wrote this book, and I feel like I only stuck with one answer when I could have like explored more. But that's another thing, is more me getting comfortable and me more realizing what I stuck with saying and what I could say next time. So that's something like I would do differently, but also a takeaway of me preparing better for questions about what made me write the book, what's my writing process. Yeah. The next thing is walk around in the beginning, right before the event starts, but also try to walk around in the middle. My boyfriend walked around, so the event ended at 4. My boyfriend started walking around at 3, and I should have walked around at 3 or 2:30, so that I at least got to see more vendors and connect more, or purchase from other vendors, because a lot, but he was having fun, and I'm glad he supported so many people. But he was like from 3 to 3:45, and so I only had 15 minutes, but some people were already closing down because of how we're supposed to close by 4 and put down our tables and stuff and tents. And so it's just do it a little earlier. That would be my takeaway for myself, but also for you if you're curious. If you want to support the other vendors around you, I'm grateful that my boyfriend did for us. But just in the future, like if you personally want to support or just make connections, get to know more people, do it in the beginning. You can do it right before, when those are still setting up, or like right when you finish. But then you can also do it in the middle, when maybe things are slowing down a little and you want to get food. You could get food and then also explore around. The next thing. So, like I touched on this a little bit. So, yes, say like hi, good morning, good afternoon. But I also needed to say like, what I learned is that I need to say hi. These are my books. I'm the author of these books, and that made people stop and then start walking because they would be like, dude. And they're like, oh, you're the author, and then they'll come to the table, and I think it's because I guess some people thought like maybe I was just a publishing company for the books, or they just didn't know. And so hearing me say like I'm the author, these are my books, made people come over. And so that was just something I took away because I noticed that. And so I wanted to share it in case maybe I don't know what you may say. You could definitely give me tips in the comments if you say something else and you realize that it makes people come to the table. But what I noticed was saying like, good morning, would you like to check out my books? These are my books. I'm the author of this poetry book and this novel. That made them come over because they're hearing I'm the author. And I know probably having a banner and having my face and say meet the author would also help that. So I'll see how it goes when I have a banner because I do want my banner to basically say like meet the author and see if that'll help people come over. The next thing, my book bundle worked. So that is a takeaway. Because I was debating if I should call it like book bundle or like buy one get one 25% off. But I liked calling it the book bundle, and I made 4 or 5 book bundle sales, and so that's a win for me. And so I was grateful that even just explaining it, I still explained it to like a lot of customers, and they still just chose one. Like maybe they don't read poetry, or maybe they didn't want to read a novel because it's longer, and so they wanted to support the poetry book, and so that's fine. But I still encouraged and talked about the book bundle because that's what my friend and boyfriend said to do, talk about the book bundle. And so I did. And so I feel like that kept people at the table longer, even if they didn't get it. So yeah, I'm grateful I did that. I definitely learned about like doing that kind of book deal from either an author on Instagram or an author tuber talking about it. I don't know which one. Next, my word search worked, but not as a game. So I originally wanted like people to like come over and like race to finish, and then they get the free bookmark. But now my bookmark is just gonna be my freebie anyway. It's like my business card, so that isn't necessary. But still, I could do like a discount. You do a race and then you get a discount off the book. But no, the word search still worked. Like people were like, oh yeah, I'll do it. Even another vendor, she came to my table and she was like, I like word searches. I just don't have the time to buy like the book. Because you know, like you could buy a book with just a bunch of different word searches. So she was like, these 2 sheets would be nice because I could take my time with it and still like enjoy it but not have to feel the pressure of like completing the whole word search book. And so I was grateful that some people do still enjoy it. And there was also a kid because the dad asked her like, do you want it, because I asked first, I was like, would you like a word search, and then I think she asked her dad, she was like, can I get it? And he was like, yeah. And then he explained that she was on a word search kick, like she's been enjoying it for a while now. And so that made me smile. And so, yeah, it's random, but I enjoy doing word searches. And I like it as a freebie. And so I give it as a freebie. And I feel like it still helps me connect with people. I learned that I do not have an appetite during events. But I guess it's more like events where I'm the center of attention, I guess you could call it, or like when it's like me doing something. Because, okay, so the event was from 11 to 4, but we got there at 9:30. I did not start eating this big. Okay, so let me start. We had a bagel in the fridge. We were running late, and so I was like, I'll cook this bagel, but I also want my boyfriend to eat, so we'll split that. So just imagine a half a bagel. It's not even a whole bagel, a half a bagel to myself. I didn't start eating it until 11, and I didn't finish eating it until 1 o'clock. It took me 2 hours just to eat a half a bagel because I was distracting myself with like trying to have people come to my table, but also feeling so nervous. I did not have an appetite. I just wanted to focus on this event and see how it goes. I was hydrating, I was drinking water, I had my water bottle. But my boyfriend and my friend did have to encourage me, like, eat that half a bagel. um, but it took me 2 hours just to eat a half of a bagel. I luckily didn't get a headache. And I was standing because a lot of people encourage you to stand, don't sit, but stand. And so that's what I was doing. I was standing, I was engaging because that for me felt like it would work. And it did work for me. And so I stood the whole time, or majority of the time. I sat for maybe 5 minutes. And then at 2 o'clock, 2:30, my boyfriend went to get BurgerFi and asked did I want anything, and I was like, I think I can handle 2 tenders. Just give me 2 tenders. It took me 30 minutes to eat 1.5 tenders because I could not eat all two fully, but I ate 1.5, and it took me 30 minutes to do that because I was again trying to engage with people, make sure I'm standing, make sure I'm not missing opportunity. And so I guess that's a like preparation for yourself. If you get nervous like I do, you may not have an appetite, but that doesn't mean don't eat. That means still try, because you don't want to get a headache, or you don't want to feel nauseous, or you don't want to just not feel good, and then you can't even do the event like you want to. So please try, or if you know like you do better with like snack bars versus actual food, or if you do better with like a shake or a protein or something, prepare for it, so that you're having something in your system that is helping you get through the day. Because then, even after the event, we had dinner. We got, and my boyfriend and I had dinner, and we had an appetizer of a large pretzel, and we probably ate half of it together. And then my chicken sandwich and fries, I probably only ate a quarter of it, and some fries. Because it was just like the excitement. Even though the event was over, I was just like, whoa, it happened. It was good. It was fun. Oh, this went well. This went well. This actually happened. And so it was the excitement still in my body that I still didn't have an appetite. And so I don't know. Everybody's body is different. I know some people may still have their appetite and still be able to eat. But yeah, for me, I was nervous. But it went well. I had people, and I know not everyone may have someone there to be able to support them, or to make sure you eat, make sure you hydrate, watch the table for you. So I am encouraging you now to prepare for that if you are about to do a tabling event, or if you know you may just want that extra support. Maybe encourage someone to text you to remind you, or you can set reminders for yourself. You can schedule it for yourself, and that could be nice. Just so you are getting something in your system, so you are managing throughout the day. And then the next thing is actually the last thing, which is how I started this video. Get rest after the event. Please take care of your body. I feel like I'm still trying to recover from the event, and it is a week later because I had so much back to back to back. And so if you can get 2 days rest, please try. If you can get a whole, with just 1 day rest, please try. Because for me and my body, I needed rest after the event, and I did not get it. And so I still feel like I'm still trying to just make up for it. It was a great event, very fun, very grateful for the Sunday market. But yeah, rest is important. And I'd also, it made me think of something else to say that is like important. Oh, it's not important. So it's more like a list of stuff you could bring. So because it was windy and rainy, I taped my bookmarks display. I taped it to the little display stand thing, and then had rocks in my little bookmark basket so that nothing would blow away. and then we taped the bottom of the basket so that wouldn't blow away. We had to tape one of my stands because it was rocking back and forth. We tied the table sheet. So if you're a person that needs rocks or tape or just whatever to make sure your stuff holds down, it was clear tape so no one could like see it. I don't think it messed up the display at all. Even the rocks, I don't think it messed up the display at all. But I just want to say it in case maybe you need that tip or just some insight on what to do when it's windy days. We did have sandbags, but we also put like open sandbags that couldn't be tied to the tent legs. We put it in a black bag, a big black trash bag, and then we tied it against the tent as a just in case. And so you can do that with your extra sandbags if you do bring sandbags for your tent legs. Other tips. Brown paper bags, because they wanted no plastic bags, and so that's why I brought brown paper bags, and it was helpful because some people didn't have a bag and they didn't want the book to get wet. That's all I'm thinking of right now. If I forget, I'll let you know in another video. But yeah, that is how the tabling event went. I am super grateful. I would do it again. I think I will in August. That's the plan. That's the goal. And yeah, I'm gonna end with showing you some pictures of the other vendors that my boyfriend and I supported. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. And don't forget, just write your story, and take care.